Hello and welcome to another Auto Talk podcast slash video slash whatever it is I call it this week. If wherever you're listening to this or watching this, don't forget to find that little bell or subscribe button somewhere down the bottom or somewhere up there. I get confused, and hit it so that you can get more great material that's really crucial to the industry. We're getting a really good feedback from people for these discussions. So the more you can get access to them, the better. Go hit those buttons. Now, DMS systems and software are literally these days at the core of every automotive business, whether you're a dealership, a workshop, a distributor, whatever. Everything runs on software, and we've got someone who's joined the industry here in New Zealand, Mark Scott, the business development manager for Pentana Solutions, and we're here to have a bit of a chat to Mark today. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
So, how long have you been with Pentana now, and what's your background? You've been around the automotive trade for a while, or you're learning it?
Yeah, so I've been with Pentana actually 4 months. Believe it or not, I started in on my second day. We went into our level 4 lockdown, which was fun to try and juggle a new role and coming into this, and then suddenly be forced into one of the harshest lockdowns and I think one of our longest lockdowns. So it's been an interesting ride in the first few months. However, been incredibly busy. We all know that COVID has not stopped the automotive industry in any way, shape, or form, and it's just enhanced it. And there's lots of inquiries around what we can do to help. My background, I actually started off as a motorcycle mechanic. Back in 2007, I believe, when I went and did an apprenticeship, and from there, I've just worked my way through the motorcycle industry, and then jumped into the automotive industry. Probably in the last 5 years, been just specifically dealing with automotive. One of my most recent roles coming from Tico, New Zealand, actually, importers of Jeep here in New Zealand. So I've had a magnitude of roles within the different companies I've been with, from sales to after sales to parts, to dealer development, a bit of everything.
Mm.
And I've quite enjoyed being able to help dealerships across the country and guide them in ways that helps them be more profitable and streamlines their processes and all of that. So it's been quite a pleasant journey, and coming into a role like this, it's been quite nice to further help dealerships across the country with solutions, processes, and growing efficiencies.
It feels like so often we see people in this kind of role, or even further senior management roles, that have started on the tools, so to speak. I mean, do you think someone who's kind of started in that section and worked their way through bring insight, perhaps that is quite valuable?
Yeah, and that's quite important. And businesses like somebody who have been on the front end, they've actually dealt with the day to days of what they're dealing with. I know I used to years and years ago. I worked with somebody who was in the automotive trade, and he had never been on the front end within a dealership before, and you could just clearly see the differences from somebody from the understanding with those dealerships. He just didn't know what the front end was like, and it was very hard to really relate with those dealerships and help them in the way we can. So we're quite fortunate to actually have here in New Zealand the team working with Pentana are either very knowledgeable in just dealership operations because they've been doing DMS for so long, or they've actually come out of the industry and have that real life experience in a dealership.
Mm. Why is that so important? I mean, and I'm playing slight devil's advocate here. I mean, it's software. It goes in a computer. You tap in a car. You do whatever you do. Why is that industry experience so crucial when you're rolling out that kind of thing, or working with that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think it's more the relatable side of it, and being able to go, well, look, I understand, the struggles, the challenges. It takes away a lot of that, with them having to actually teach us about what they're talking about. So when you're having conversations with dealers, the last thing they want to be doing is trying to really explain those issues. I'm able to come in there and to some degree not understand the whole entire business, but have that back end knowledge of what they'd be going through and look at the best way of trying to fix it or remedy it. I've also had trial and error as well. So I'm able to go, well, we've tried this, it didn't work. We tried that, it semi worked, and it's just bringing in another brain, another thought process into the whole mix of things.
Hmm. Now, you jumped into a new job and suddenly went into lockdown and kind of, I guess, had to adapt. How has software had to adapt to COVID over the last couple of years? I mean, did Pentana have to make any changes, bring in new features, or what was the situation for dealers on that?
Well, we're very fortunate that we had solutions available that helped businesses operate at a more remote capability. If anything, we had more businesses coming to us going, well, we need cloud solutions. We need to be able to connect remotely. We need the online service booking solutions so customers can get on and book all their work, all their repairs online, view their invoices and bits and pieces. So um, we're starting to become more digital, and our systems. I mean, we're now 100% cloud hosted technology, so all of our solutions are hosted in the cloud, and that's been a big part of COVID, and having that easeability of being able to access your systems. Um, the other great thing is digital archiving. As an example, businesses haven't been able to see their documents, so because nothing's scanned and everything's been on site. So we've had a lot of inquiry. Well, what can we do around this? Well, our systems can put everything in the cloud. It can all be digital, so all of your staff can actually access everything they need to through their own digital archive database. Um, so we really have had a lot of that, and it's been that whole people are going, well, we don't need this just yet. We don't need this just yet, and then suddenly something like COVID happens, and oh, we need it all. um, so it's something I spoke about quite long ago, quite a while ago, about the timing. I mean, the biggest challenge I think for a lot of people is trying to figure out the timing, and timing is not something we can ever really pick out. Which again, COVID's taught us that. Who knew that what this was going to happen? Um,
Mhm.
but it's all trying to reduce that risk and give a full picture and visibility across your businesses, no matter what happens.
Right. What are the features of the Pentana system that have you think really come to the fore during COVID, during the way dealers have had to do business differently in the last 2 years?
Yeah, so digital archiving, it's been a big part of what dealers are wanting in terms of being able to see documents off site. For people that are having to now work remotely, and still today we have a number of staff that actually work more remote now because of what COVID's done. Um, Businesses need the ability to not have to send those documents physically off site, but scan them and have people be able to see them, work on them, finalize them, whatever it might be, in their own digital database. And not only that, I mean, you've got businesses that are trying to store these documents physically on site in rooms with towers of boxes full of these documents, or even worse, businesses that are looking to actually go to third party suppliers, and pay substantial money to these suppliers to store these documents for them. And the drama that brings into the picture is big because I mean, from my experience, talking to certain businesses, and you say, oh, we need to see this document or this document, and it's, well, we'll have to go talk to our third party supplier, and that'll take about a week before they can pull documents out. And um,
As
so
opposed to
it
just a few strokes on a keyboard.
correct. And with a digital archive that's fully indexed, it takes a matter of seconds for you to search whatever document you need, whether it be customer name, vehicle VIN number, registration number, whatever it might be. It's a huge time saver, and it's another way of giving people the ability to work remotely across the country wherever they are.
Mm.
And that has been something that's been brought on in a big way with COVID.
Mhm. Are you concerned now that we're starting to see restrictions come off as of the 15th? It's a lot more open, particularly for dealers to do
Mm.
business, people to come in, sign things on site. Are you concerned that perhaps some of the kind of digital gains dealers have made, the move forwards they've made in the last 2 years, might be lost? That we kind of might drift back to the old way of doing things? Or do you think dealers have realized they really do need to keep going on this digital path? Because I feel like when we got into COVID, and it sounds like you guys had the same situation, that so many dealers or so many of these tools existed, but and people have been talking about it for so long, but people are kind of just delayed getting there.
No, I think if anything, it's just fast tracked and proven the importance of being digital. I mean, there's in New Zealand, I think we're quite far back in the technology world, as New Zealand tends to be with a lot of things in the world. I mean, really, do we need to be printing out repair orders, physical repair orders? Well, no, we could start using technology and having tablets and just having everything on there. I mean, talking about being environmentally friendly. I mean, we could businesses could stop printing out all this paper, and not only is that environmentally friendly, but it's also cost saving um, and time saving. Businesses are probably or will be realizing that the massive gains they're getting by being more digital, having customers be able to book their services on an online platform 24/7. They don't have to try and call through. They don't have to take up service advisor's time just to make a booking. They can do it all online, and it'll be fully integrated to their DMS and fully controlled by that business in terms of how much they want to allow to book in, how much they needs to go to warranty or internal or whatever it might be. So there's some amazing controls and efficiency gains in the technological world.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I guess it's probably surprising how few sheets of paper you have to print out before you've already paid for a tablet in a
yeah,
technician's
yeah,
hand.
yeah, and that's something in my time I've seen a lot. I mean, I've seen book size repair orders with all the information on it, and it's just not needed. And the time it takes to try and find documents. The big one, part of my one of my roles was warranty audits. Everybody loves a warranty auditor. Um, but simple little mistakes like not signing repair orders or not getting the customer to sign repair orders or handwriting add-on repairs to ROs are some of the biggest uh, causes of warranty chargebacks in the automotive industry. We have solutions that gets rid of all of that completely. Our driveway check-in service called Service Concierge that actually allows service advisors to add on repairs, increase upsell, increase business profitability right on the driveway. And because you're adding that on the repair order straight away without printing it, you don't get penalized by having handwritten add-ons on those repair orders. The repair orders have to be signed, so you're not actually going to end up having the customer not sign the repair order again, reducing businesses' risk. Um, and best of all, when you do print them out, and because we do still print businesses in New Zealand do still print repair orders, and it's probably quite far away till they decide not to. But when you actually go to archive them and scan them in and index them, you can put in processes in place that will tell managers, oh, you're missing 3 or 4 repair orders, which is another issue within dealerships, repair orders going missing. So
Mm,
it's all these digital tasks and processes that we've never really thought of in the past that we're trying to bring to the table now with automotive businesses, which just reduce costs
mm, mm,
significantly. It significantly reduces costs to businesses.
mm. Now you mentioned that you've transitioned to being a cloud system. I mean, what does that mean, and what are the benefits that brings dealers? You mentioned making it easier for people to work from home, but can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so we're fully cloud, a full cloud environment. So everything is hosted in our cloud environment. So a few people have actually asked us, so who are you using for your cloud environment or your data center? Where is it actually going? Well, the great thing is it's us. It's Pentana. So we have our own cloud environment that is uh, based in Melbourne. Tier one data center, which is your top of the range data center with a 99.9% uptime on it. So we have plenty of redundancies in place to keep businesses rolling. And COVID has taught everybody about security, or networking security, and the potential risk of cyber attacks. So the cloud environment just gives businesses that extra security they need for keeping their data safe. Um, in my time here, I've spoken to three businesses that have actually been attacked quite aggressively, with ransomware, through physical servers being able to actually access the business's physical servers on site, which aren't as secure as a lot of people would think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's part of COVID. I mean, COVID, everybody's at home, everybody's online, so it's making things a little bit easy for cyber attacks to get into businesses. So already, I know of three businesses that have been held ransom, and had their data held ransom to them, just because of their network infrastructure. Um, so at
And,
Pentana,
and and of course, being cloud, that reduces infrastructure requirements at the dealer end from a cost perspective as well, and simply having to upgrade hardware and having someone around that knows what to do with it.
correct, and we look after all of that. So backups are all looked after us. No longer do businesses have to go in and get that tape, or do that backup tape every day, take it off site or store it wherever they need to be, or again, third party supplier taking them off site and storing them for you. So it's just another way of reducing costs, making businesses more efficient, and keeping you up and running. I mean, the Christchurch earthquakes are a good example. Businesses on physical servers would have had a huge amount of downtime trying to get those servers back up and running.
Mm.
When you're in the cloud, the business just simply continues,
I guess
as long
any
as you have.
internet connected device becomes access to your system, really.
Correct, and that's a big part of it as well. I mean, we recently had, well, we've had quite a lot of flooding, but the recent flooding in Gisborne, there's businesses down there, likely with physical servers, and all it takes is that water getting in, and it's potential data loss. But even worse, it's downtime. It's trying to get the business back up and running. The floods might be gone tomorrow, but because of the damage done, the business is down for weeks until they can actually get that network and service back up and running.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really about having those redundancies in place for businesses so they can continue to operate in the worst of scenarios.
Mm. Now, Pentana has a lot of international experience, but what's your kind of footprint like in New Zealand, and what's your kind of target market here? I mean, is kind of new vehicle dealerships your kind of core focus? Are you looking at other areas as well?
Yeah, so Pentana has predominantly been focused on the automotive franchise businesses, historically, but there's been a lot of demand around the construction and truck industry. So it's something we're drilling into at the moment with quite a few businesses actually. And uh, from what we've seen, the construction and trucking industry are quite behind in some of the technology that they've had, and they're now quickly realizing, well, what else is out there, and what else can we get? And again, a digital world, what can we put in this business that streamlines our processes or gives us visibility for all of our sales reps that are on the road, traveling the country. um, so that's a big push at the moment. Pentana is growing big. I mean, yes, we've got a substantial footprint over in the Australian market, and that reputation's, it's fast becoming apparent here in New Zealand. In New Zealand, it's a little bit tricky. I mean, New Zealanders tend to uh, go with what they know, and I mean that's like anything. I mean, if you're an Apple person, you don't stray from Apple. If you're a Honda person, you don't stray from a Honda or Toyota. It's what you know, and we're here to teach. It's the old saying, you don't know what you don't know, and we're here to educate and let people know what other solutions are available out there. And our big point of difference from other businesses out there is what we can do in house, all by ourselves. The cloud environment, all the applications, the digital archiving, all under one roof, one supplier. It just makes businesses' life so much easier.
Mm. And if those businesses are considering, as you say, use the term straying, what is the best way for them to get in contact with Pentana or yourself, Mark?
Look, so you can get in touch with me via my cell phone, or via my email. We're readily available. My details are on the website. Yeah, so we're always available.
I'll pop that down the bottom there for people have accessible rather than say it. They can type it out. But
Yeah.
look, no, that's a really interesting insight into the business and how things have worked through COVID, and hopefully now I imagine you're pretty excited to get on the road and actually go and see some of
Oh.
these people you've been Zoom calling over the last 4 months.
Yes, no, I'm really looking forward to those borders opening and getting out and seeing people. And likewise with a lot of people out there. I mean, there's been a lot of calling for people to open up and come down and see them and start the conversations. I mean, there's only so much we can do over video calls. So no, we're really looking forward to 2022, getting out there and speaking to all the businesses out there that need help.
Excellent, excellent. Look, thank you so much for joining us. That's Mark Scott, business development manager for Pentana.
Thank you.